Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Let's just jump right into it today, because we are looking at something absolutely wild. We're talking about the magnificent, intersecting worlds of biblical prophecy and futuristic sci-fi allegory, all centered around one of the most mind-blowing concepts imaginable. We are unpacking the New Jerusalem, or as it's known in our source material, the Rainbow Castle.
So I want you to picture this. You look up into the sky, and there is a structure so incredibly massive and so radiant that it just totally shatters our understanding of earthly physics. Seriously, if a glowing cube that huge suddenly hovered right over our atmosphere, what would we even do? Would we immediately see it as divine salvation? Or would our first instinct be absolute panic, thinking it's some hostile alien invasion? Well, that tension is exactly what's at the heart of our sources today.
To make sense of this whole massive concept, we're going to break this explainer down into 4 quick parts. 1, a city in the sky. 2, time, space, and symbolism. 3, the conflict with Artopia. And finally, 4, the arc of eternity.
All right, let's kick things off with part 1, a city in the sky, the architecture of eternity.
And honestly, the sheer scale of the Rainbow Castle is just absolutely mind-boggling. It's described as a giant cube with a perimeter of 1,500 miles. To put that into perspective for you, that's roughly the distance from New York all the way to Denver, but stretching straight up into space. It is literally designed with dimensions vast enough to house all of redeemed humanity across the ages. And obviously, a structure that massive comes with a pretty dazzling aesthetic. The city isn't just big, it is literally made of fire and rainbow light. It sits on 12 foundation layers of precious stones representing the 12 tribes of Israel. You've got massive walls constructed of crystal-clear jasper, 12 gates carved from single colossal pearls, yes, single pearls, and streets made of pure gold that are somehow completely transparent like glass. This whole polychromatic architecture is specifically designed to transmit the unhindered glory of God.
Moving on to part 2, let's look at time, space, and symbolism and decode this heavenly blueprint.
What's really fascinating here is how the structure has this beautiful dual nature. On one hand, the physical castle itself represents the heavenly holy temple, so the uplifting of literal space. But on the other hand, that radiant rainbow light pouring out of it, that represents the Sabbath, or the light of the 7 days from creation, which is the uplifting of time. It's amazing how this one divine structure perfectly synthesizes the holiness of both space and time together. And the imagery here helps us decode the allegory even further. The city basically acts as a giant breastplate of righteousness. Think about how the ancient high priest wore a breastplate covered in 12 stones for the tribes of Israel. The New Jerusalem's 12 foundations serve the exact same purpose. It connects those ancient tribes straight to this futuristic sanctuary, all united by a single rainbow covenant.
I just love how this specific detail really anchors the narrative. Remember how jasper is the primary material for the city's walls and its very first foundation? Well, jasper is the stone of the tribe of Benjamin. But it's not just there to look pretty. According to the sources, jasper symbolically contains all the colors of the rainbow, so it serves as this massive overarching symbol of God's faithfulness to his promises. The whole city is essentially built on the foundation of God keeping his word.
Okay, let's jump into part 3, the conflict with Artopia. Looking at synthetic reality versus divine truth. So, in this sci-fi allegory, Artopia is basically the modern Babylon. It's a completely enclosed, dystopian city-state run by a highly manipulative leader named Iskandar. He actually blocks out the natural sky using this giant artificial sky dome, and he places a film over the citizens' windows. He is literally blinding them to the Rainbow Castle hovering right above them. Basically, only the undergrounders, the people who resist genetic conditioning, can actually see the truth. This sets up a really classic tale of two cities contrast. When the Rainbow Castle shows up, Iskandar immediately uses CGI and fake news to convince his people that the city is actually a hostile alien force he calls Armageddon, and he urges them to flee into space. But, the divine reality is the exact opposite. The castle is a holy sanctuary, it's a loving warning, and it perfectly highlights this super relatable human struggle. Do we hide in a comfortable, synthetic lie, or do we face a blinding, uncomfortable truth? And I mean literally blinding and uncomfortable. The reality of the castle's rainbow light is so pure that it actively interferes with Artopia's technology. For the citizens who refuse to give up their artificial synthetic gene therapy enhancements, that divine light literally causes painful burns and sores. It essentially forces this terrifying but absolutely necessary purification process onto a world that has totally replaced the divine with the artificial. Which brings us to our final section, part 4.
the arc of eternity, ushering in the millennial reign.
So check out this precise sequence for the end days, which actually mirrors the biblical festivals to kick off a great jubilee. First, on day 1, the Festival of Trumpets, the castle appears as a massive warning banner. Then, over the 10 days of awe, citizens are urgently warned to flee the synthetic city. By day 15, the Festival of Tabernacles, Artopia falls. During all this, the castle acts as a literal ark, preserving the righteous and ultimately setting the stage for the millennial reign of 1,000 years.
Because ultimately, the castle won't just hover up there as a warning forever. As the source material says, it is the abode of Christ and his heavenly people, the seat of his government. It's destined to descend and fully materialize into Earth's dimension. It will serve as the eternal capital of a completely renewed Earth, where God dwells directly with humanity, wiping away every tear.
And that brings us to the end of our explainer today. But before we go, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought. If a city of pure, unadulterated truth and light actually appeared in our sky today, how would we react? Would we instantly recognize it as our salvation, strip away our artificial lives, and embrace it? Or would we, kind of like the citizens of Artopia, scramble to build a sky dome to hide from a truth that is just too bright to look at? Definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for unpacking the Rainbow Castle with me, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.